Good evening to all of you. The meeting of today will be in English since we have foreign guests this afternoon. So the topic of today will be vessel design perspectives. So we host here two representatives of two design studios. We will be focusing on solar boat and then on ship design, specific ship design aspects to, as we wrote, as to exceed expectations. Before we start, I would just remind you some as usual, few information. First of all, I kindly ask you all to keep your microphone switched off unless you are making some question or making some comments. You can use the chat to make your questions to our speakers, and the question will be answered at the end of both presentations. Then, as usual, this event is organized in collaboration with the associations of engineers of Trieste and Gorizia. So for all the people aspiring to have the credits, you know that we will be asking you to switch on your camera in a random way. This is all. I just introduced our two speakers of this afternoon. We will start with iCat and Tomislav Uroda, that will present this company, this Croatian company established in 2011, and then which started building their own vessels that Tomislav will be presenting us today. After Tomislav, there will be the presentation of GLO Marine, presented by Liviu Moise. And in this case, we have a design company. Okay, please switch off your microphone. Thank you. We will have the presentation, I was saying, from GLO Marine from Liviu Moise. In this case, we have a Romanian company, design company. I would say a big group with some specificity in vessel design. So I think that I said more or less everything that is needed to start. So Tomislav, we already see your screen. We already share your screen. So please, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everybody. So as Martina has told you, my name is Tomislav Uroda. I'm coming from iCat company. Just briefly, the history of iCat. Sometimes 10 or 50 years ago, we have started with the idea of ultralight and green vessels. First part of the history of iCat was related to development, to design of the projects, and we done it with R&D partners, University of Zagreb and Croatia Institute. Later on, we have been applying to some EU project to be able to finance and to finish the R&D part of design and to build some prototypes, and at the end to build a boat which are sailing and they are as such tested already. Focus all the way is on the electric vessels. That's the primary focus, and then the next one, solar energy for the vessels where we can have it. And the basic idea from the beginning was to create the iCat group, integrated business along the group. That means the design, which is the beauty of the work. Then we have consulting, which we must have, and that means collaborating with the ministries, local authorities, government, shipyard, hard work, and then some future plans are to set up the passenger transportation lines on the Adriatic. Talking about the vessels, first one I'm going to present you today, and this is the solarCat. It's fully sustainable vessel, and we have autonomy of 100 nautical miles. That means from 100 to even more. And the basic layout of this vessel is passenger transportation. But what I would like to show you is versatility of the deck, which means we can have it as a party boat or the boat for some special occasions. And with this short video, you will have those alternatives and the boat as such itself. So the video was captured last year, almost a year ago, locally in Croatia, in Zagreb, a small lake, where we made a presentation. We have enough of energy on that vessel that we can supply the band, music, the cooling, chilling. So it could be party boat, or it could be some special occasions boat, like you can have it for the VIP meetings, for special lunches or something like that. Or if you go to the other end, it could be eco boat. That means you can use it for the transportation of already selected the garbage. That means for the sustainable transport for sustainable islands. So you just have hop on, hop off containers, and such a vessel you use for the small islands, not to the big one, and not for the communal waste. It's just for the selected waste. Some general data about the boat. It's 15 times 5 meters. I'm sorry, I have left the dimensions in American standard. It's 2 times 12 kilowatt of engines, and the speed is up to 9 knots, something above. The size of the vessel is 50 to 60 passengers, which is the size of a bus, and that was the basic concept when we have started design of that vessel. Some data about the autonomy of the vessel. 2 deliveries of those kind of vessels. We have already built 4 of them. Number 2 was delivered in summer 2019, and the distance was from Split to Mljet, which is 75 nautical miles. This is the upper part of this slide. Average speed 5.5 knots, and that was the sailing time of 13.5 hours. At the end, or at the arrival, we get the batteries remained on 50 to 60%. Vessel number 3 was delivered in the mid of the winter 2020. That means early January. We started in 7:30 in the morning, and we arrived 7 o'clock in the evening, which was a bit shorter distance, 62 nautical miles, 11.5 hours of sailing, and we have used most of the batteries on that sailing trip. The latest version of the boat has 30% bigger battery bank and 20% more power on the solar panels. And that's how we come to the 100 nautical miles of daily autonomy. The iCat was the basic idea of design, and that's how we started the company. iCat as island catamaran. At that point, we didn't manage to come to the realization of the project. At the beginning, it was high efficient vessel, but lately, with the newest technology of the batteries, we came to solution where we can have high speed with the electrical propulsion. That means 25 knots, and such a vessel would be connection between the islands in Croatia, or would be the part of the passenger public transportation within the cities, coastal cities. It's middle size of the vessel. That means 100 passengers, 17 meters. We are still a bit bigger than a bus, but the concept is vessel of public service. And then we have conceptual one, which is not completely designed, and this is what we are working on these days. It's just an illustration, but the size of such a vessel is 200, 300 passengers, the high speeds, 35 knots, but we cannot apply the batteries on this one. And this is something which will be developed with hydrogen propulsion, and the R&D is in partnership with University of Zagreb. The green energy is something which is live already in Europe, but I would say globally. The America is heading behind a bit, but with new presidencies, something has changed already. In Europe, the focus is to remove all this pollution by 2050. That means we are not going to achieve that, that's for sure, but the tendency is to get it. And some estimates are 1 trillion of euros for the green solutions, not just for the boats, but it means car, boats, and the other green applications globally. And here I'm finishing my presentation. If you have some questions, please leave it to Martina, and we will talk about it later. Thank you.
Thank you, Tomislav. Thank you very much. Yes, I wrote on the chat, so if everybody has some question for about the products of Tomislav or his activity, you're more than welcome, and just write about your questions, and we will come back to them later. Okay, so now we can leave the floor to Livio, if you want to share your presentation and give us an introduction about GLO Marine.
Just a second.
And your activity. Yes, yes.
Right.
We can see it.
See it. All right. Hello, everybody, and good afternoon. My name is Liviu, and I am the Technical Sales Director in GLO Marine. And tonight I'll be presenting our company presentation skills, capabilities, and portfolio. So tonight's agenda will reveal our, I think I need to maybe move this. So we'll be revealing our company overview. We will tell you what is GLO Marine, what are our services, some of our key numbers, and we will be talking about our new building detail design, the vessel portfolio, and of course we will present the project showcase. At the same time, we'll be discussing about ships in operation, the ballast water treatment system projects that we have been working on, conversions and mobilizations, and of course another project showcase with respect to ships in operation. And at the end, we'll tell you a little bit about our organizational capabilities. So GLO Marine, in GLO Marine, we are a team of 30 specialists in naval architecture, design and survey, which are offering a range of tailor-made engineering services to small and medium shipyards and ship owners. Our respect for engineering and focus on efficient project management enables us to deliver our clients not only services, but something that we call peace of mind. In fact, we like to believe that we are large enough to deliver and small enough to care. GLO Marine focuses on two range of services. We're talking about new building detail design and vessel conversion and retrofit projects. The detail design service, which is shown on the left side, is our bread and butter and represents the service that allowed us to grow exponentially since the company first started. Our deliverables have placed us amongst the preferred subcontractors of the Fincantieri-owned shipyard in Romania, which is called M.A.R.E shipyard, for the last 4 years. We cover most of all of the disciplines, actually, from hull structures to deck outfitting and piping and machinery. And in our company portfolio, we have quite a lot of different ship types. When it comes to vessel in operation, our ships in operation service is related to vessel retrofitting, such as ballast water treatment system integration and sea fastening and mobilization. We have a proven track record with a wide range of ballast water treatment system integration with different neutralization methods and of course different ship types. I think that throughout the last 2 years, our team of naval architects has successfully completed a series of vessel mobilizations such as sea fastening of heavy equipment, installation of new cranes and life-saving appliances or extensions of class notation. So GLO Marine is a project-oriented organization and our entire activity revolves around the project. Basically, the projects are supervised by a dedicated project manager, while the engineering team is controlled by our engineering manager. The engineering team is made out of 25 skilled engineers, which are split across 2 departments, hull and naval architecture, and piping and deck outfitting design, as shown in the bottom left bar. We also have 3 discipline leads, which are acting as technical authority and are always ready to provide the best customer support to our clients. In our portfolio, we have more than 25 completed new building projects. We have been involved in various projects from inland navigation workboats to vessels propelled by LNG to ships with polar class notation or mega yachts. Some of the vessels we have worked on belong to vessel owners such as Ponant Cruise, Hapag-Lloyd, Viking, or others. 2 years ago, we started working with conversion projects and vessel retrofitting by integrating of ballast water treatment systems on board ships. Our conversion projects are ranging from local structural calculations, mezzanine deck installations, and up to SPS class notation or class additions and third-party verification of technical documentation. And I think that last but not least, we have completed more than 150 stability booklets with fishing vessels and workboats, which are with lengths less than 15 meters. And these projects were done due to a regulation change in the Norwegian waters. This slide is showing the key numbers regarding the background of our engineering team. As you can see on the right-hand side, we have in our team 8 hull engineers, which are dealing with, of course, hull structures. We have 6 piping engineers and 5 outfitting engineers, while the specialized projects are being handled by our naval architect team, which is comprised by 6 engineers, 3 of them doing the structural calculations, 2 of them allocated with hydrodynamics and stability, and 1 doing computational fluid dynamics. This is a short list of some of our recurring clients. I think it is needless to say that the Fincantieri-owned shipyard, VARD Tulcea in Romania, is one of our biggest and most recurring client. And we have had many successful projects together. The coronation of this collaboration was the RevOcean contract award, which we'll be talking a little bit later actually during this presentation. This collaboration, or our collaboration, is extended also to other shipyards from, such as M.A.R.E shipyard from Faroe Island, Helsinki shipyard, of course, from Finland, design companies from Norway, such as Marine Technique, or even the local Bureau Veritas office in Romania. Let's admit one more user. All right. So moving on to our engineering capabilities for new building detail design, we'll talk about this vessel called RevOcean, and actually this is the actual picture of the vessel being prepared for launching in the shipyard in the floating dock. So, as highlighted earlier, our detailed design services are covering all disciplines from hull structures to piping and deck outfitting to HVAC and electrical. As you can see in the bottom corner, we have been, or most of our experience lies with cruise vessels, But we have also been working with fishing vessels, stern trawlers, workboats, dredgers, or even high-speed light crafts. Given our total number of engineers, we can deliver approximately 46,000 man-hours, design man-hours per year. And as a company, we have delivered designs in more than 10 different shipyard standards. So this is the Rev Ocean project. It is one of the most challenging detailed design projects that we have delivered in GLO Marine. The scope of work was the detailed design of the entire foreship and the entire aftship, as highlighted with the orange dotted line in this picture. This is a nice picture of the vessel just before it went from Romania to Norway for the final outfitting stage. This slide shows the project specification of this vessel. So it is a research expedition vessel, which was classed by DNV. Of course, the client was M.A.R.E shipyard in Romania. It is nice to see that actually it's one of the biggest mega yachts ever built. It's close to 183 meters in length. And our scope of work was consisted of hull design and steel outfitting design, totaling up to, I think it's close to 11,500 hours of work. Just to give you an idea about the steel weight in the scope of GLO Marine, it was approximately 1,400 tons of steel. And this is the last picture I have with Rev Ocean. It was again from the floating dock, but what it's nice to see here, it's the aft area, which is a little bit easier to spot on. The challenges about this one was that it had this cantilevered helicopter deck structure. Again, the forward part also had another helicopter deck area together with the helicopter hangar. So it was extremely challenging with respect to spaces and design work. Let's admit another person. Okay. So next we will be changing focus from new building to ships in operation, and we will talk a little bit about our engineering capabilities with respect to vessel retrofits and conversion. In GLO Marine, we can provide reliable and proficient engineering and project management solutions to meet our customers' ballast water treatment system requirements in attaining compliance with the latest international rules and regulations. In GLO Marine, we have a 5-step approach to complete these type of projects. And we start with a technical suitability evaluation, where we establish the appropriate neutralization method and the system type. The second phase is the onboard survey and the 3D laser scanning, where we create the 3D point cloud system and we establish the preliminary position of all equipment and pipe routing. The next phase is the basic design and class approval, where we update all the necessary documentation required for the classification approval. And then we're moving on into the detailed design stage, where we actually create the pipe spools and for prefabrication and the arrangement drawings for the installation. And last but not least, we are also offering installation support to our clients. So we are acting on behalf of the vessel owner during the installation of the system in the shipyard or in the dry dock. Moving on to conversion projects. Vessel mobilizations and sea fastenings are conversion projects often required on a short notice and of course with a short delivery time. We have completed 6 of these projects where our team was responsible for sea fastening of heavy equipment, installation of new mezzanine decks, increase of personnel on board the vessel, or even update of life-saving appliances. We will showcase one of our most extensive conversion project, which is spread across multi-disciplines and has been recently successfully completed. So meet Peridot vessel. This is a platform supply vessel, which is classed with DNV. It has a length overall of 91 meters, and it suffered quite an extensive conversion. The first scope of work we had, it consisted of decommissioning all the diving equipments which were located at the mezzanine deck. And in replacement, we had installed 5 accommodation containers that were basically providing, they were increasing the crew capacity from 71 people to 114. Of course, considering this change, a series of other changes had to be done, such as converting one of the mud tank to the sewage tank. We had to update the life-saving appliances. The second scope was the installation of a ballast water treatment system that we did on board the vessel, and the vessel increase or the enhanced strength of the deck, where the vessel owner intended to carry maritime containers, either 20 feet containers or 40 feet containers. And last but not least, we had also installed a removable towing bit on board the vessel in the aft area, which was allowing the vessel to engage in towing operations. This slide shows an extract from the feasibility study, which was done using the old-fashioned survey on board the vessel. The team has established the location of all equipment and documented all the changes from the preliminary pipe routing, collision with existing structures, and work preparation for installation. All this information was piled up together in a post-survey report, which was handed over to the client. So this picture shows the project from feasibility study. And then we have to system installation and commissioning. This installation took place during dry docking, and the system was already commissioned. As specification, it was a pure ballast system from Alfa Laval, which has a capacity of 450 cubic meters per hour, and as a neutralization method is using UV radiation plus filtration. One challenge with this project was the calculation of the deck capacity and the increase or the increase of strength to accommodate the 20 feet containers on board the vessel. This is a picture showing the structural AFE calculation, which was done using the M.A.R.E software. The result for this calculation was substantial reinforcement below deck. And this change had implication with the vessel trim also. So the stability booklet and the inclining test had to be redone according to DNV. The towing bit calculation was done differently, a little bit different, as you can see in the right hand side picture. Considering the equipment, we have approached the calculation using beam analysis. We have used the DNV software, Nauticus Hull 3D Beam, where we have created the deck structure and we have analyzed all the towing scenarios according to the specification of the winch. These photos are taken from or after the installation was completed. So we can see the twist locks that were installed on the deck to secure the 20 feet or the 40 feet containers. The second picture is showing a container which has a winch installed inside of the container to facilitate bringing the towing rope from the stern gate through the towing bit and down to the winch. And the last picture is showing the 62 tons safe working load towing bit, which was secured with bolts to its foundation, thus allowing it to be removed when not needed in operation. What is important to mention is that the entire foundation was flush with the deck so that it does not create any tripping hazard on the open deck. And the last point on my agenda is represented by our organizational capabilities. So GLO Marine is following a quality management system that we have put in place to make sure that our deliverables are offering peace of mind to our clients. The project managers are meticulously following the progress of the project and report it on the constant basis to the client. Depending on the project scope, the progress report can be made on a weekly basis or otherwise as agreed with the client during the kickoff meeting. Should any variation to this scope of work appear, it is logged in our change register document, and these changes are analyzed with regards to the impact on budget and schedule, which are agreed with the client before the actual execution. And last but not least, GLO Marine quality in projects is ensured through regular internal audits and quality checks of all deliverables. Okay, so thanks for attending, and I look forward to your questions in the Q&A session. I guess Martina,
Thank you, Livio.
you.
Yes, thank you, Livio. Thank you for your presentation, for your comprehensive presentation. I asked to all our audience if they want to make also directly some questions to our speakers. If you want also with directly speaking, I would say. I would start in reality with one question to both of you. I mean, two questions, one per person. And just to start some some deepening of the topics you presented, I would like to ask Tomislav if you can give us an idea of the time to deliver one of your solarCat or iCat regarding your the one that you prefer. So in terms of the products that you have today, that you presented today. And the second question was a little bit more, I would say, relating to your to your history and to your process. I know that iCat started as a design engineering studio, and then you have somehow to also to have in charge the boatyard production. So if you want just to say something about this. This passage, this evolution, if I can say in this way, because it's something that is not common. So not all the design studio then become boatyards or something like that. So I think that is something very, very specific that you have to present if you want to say something. And I also just make here the question for Livio so that you can think about it while Tomislav give us an answer. And if you think about detailed design applied to new ships, so new constructions, and I would say modifications, so ships in operation that has to change something, so that you presented, which are the main constraints or the main points on which you have to pay a lot of attention in both cases? So which are the main differences also when you face a project for a new construction, a detailed design on a new construction, and of I would say a ship in operation? Okay, Tomislav, if you want to say something. I see in the meantime that there is also a question for you, which is about the price of an iCat solar boat.
Yeah. Okay. So the basic idea was to build a boat for yourself. That was how we started thinking about it. It came out of frustration of the very big passenger lines in the Adriatic between the islands. So there was no way that you can travel between the islands without coming to the main ports. So at the beginning, we have been starting, me and some of my friends from the university, and by the educational side, I'm naval architect, so that was the basic logic behind that one. We were discussing how to build the efficient boat in a way to be commercially approved. That means that you can build a boat and you can operate it, and that was the operation of the boats without huge expenses. Without subsidies. That means that you can create market model of transportation, and that was back in 2007. Then when you have all these ideas in your head and you start to work on the project and you start a company, then somebody is smashing you all the way that you have to work for money at the beginning, and there is no and the creativity is not going to be paid. And that's how we start to do a lot of different design projects, small design, inland navigation, some technical services in the shipbuilding, and finally, after some years, we won the tender. That was the public tender for the solar vessels. It was not for the solar, that was for the electrical vessels. But this collaboration with the university and Cultural Institute have made some background that we knew what we can, what kind of technology we can apply on those vessels. At that point, the lithium batteries, that was something very, very rare on the boats. And I don't know if there was any commercial applications at all. And at the beginning, we have been discussing, should we put the lithium or the gel, AGM, or whatever technology. At the end, we took a risk, and not just the risk, we made a lot of analysis and calculations. And the company who is selling the batteries to us, they told us, you have been talking 8 years with us before you bought first battery. So that's the process of analyzing and doing something. So it's not just risking in a way that I'm going to buy the batteries and put on a boat. And design and calculations, they were very optimistic. At the end, boat came out even better, and we got this self-sustainability. We have planned to set up the shipyard, but not that early. But when you have the public tender, and if you have some issues with the suppliers and with somebody who should build the shell of the boat for you, and he's not delivering, then you have to start before your plans. And that's why we have started a bit earlier. The basic idea by the plans was until today to build the one boat. We end up with 4 of them, and then to set up the production slowly. You ask about the lead time to delivery. Since for the solarCat, the production is already set up, we can build the next one on order to delivery within 5 months, depending on the market. We have the partner in Italy, and we have been discussing a lot for the inland navigation. That means the old lakes you have and beautiful lakes in Italy. That would be the challenging part, and that means the RINA, register shipping, approvals. It took us quite a long time in Croatia, more than 2 years, to get all the approvals. I don't think so that it will take that much in Italy, because it's already the vessel is live. It's not the project, but as I understood, it will be some challenges for the first one. If we set up the production as planned, and that means we are not looking for the one-offs. We are looking for the serial production, and that's why we are developing types of vessels. Serial production, I mean the shell and the systems, they should remain the same, and then you have some variations. The plan is in the production facility at where we are now, at very modest and small, 10 vessels per year. That is capacity of the production. When we're talking about the iCat, the first one can be finished in 2 years, because it's complete new approvals, and then we need some time to build the molds for that one. But register shipping, that is the highest challenge. And we are also making the difference between this one. We are putting much more batteries inside, different technology of batteries, and we know that is going to be a challenge for us. The pricing, some basic price for the solarCat. That means solar powered, fully sustainable, but not the high speed. It's up to 10 knots. We have the options with the bigger engines and more batteries, but then you are moving away from the fully self-sustainabilities, because if you are sailing faster, then you will have to recharge the batteries. But the basic price is slightly more than €500,000. For the iCat, the price would be €2 million, because different concept of the vessel, much more batteries, different technology, and the navigation area it's much more for the open waters. Jumbo Cat, we don't have the calculations. We have estimates, and that is on the level under €8 million, but just the estimates. This one is not finished as the other two. Was it something else?
Yes, there is another question for you. It's about how much is the use of solar panels compared to energy from grid used to charge batteries?
Okay, we have 3 vessels are sailing on national park for now is the 3rd year already, and they never recharge them. They are sailing all day, the summer sailing, because this is the touristic purpose in Adriatic. But on the speed, some 7 knots, that is the average speed, and then they are coming and going, and it's not sailing all the time like I have presented on delivery, where you are sailing 13 hours, but you are sailing 20 minutes, then the people are boarding and getting out from the vessel, and then you are getting back and sailing 20 minutes, and then you're taking new passengers. And those vessels, they never recharge. They have enough energy from the solar panels. For the iCat, we don't consider solar panels at all. Maybe we would place some of them, but that would be, I would say, emergency purpose. My feeling is like on the cars, that each electric car should have some solar panel on the roof. Not that you use it, but in a case you just stuck without the energy in middle of nowhere, then you can wait, I don't know, 1-2 hours, maybe 2, maybe 1 day, but you can get somewhere. Otherwise, you are looking for the towing truck if there are something. And that's why I'm saying for the iCat vessel, this is the high-speed vessel, a lot of energy, and the size of the vessel is, or the rooftop of the vessel is not equivalent to be able to produce even 10% of the energy needed. So that one is recharging all the time during the day, and for that one you need the charging stations on shore. That's as well.
Okay, thank you, Tomislav. Thank you very much. I don't know, Livio, if you want to start and try to ask at least my question, unless there will be others in the chat.
Yeah, I think that your main question was regarding the main concerns of new building projects in comparison with the main concerns in conversion projects. I would like to start off with the conversion projects, because with that respect they're a little bit more complicated. Of course, they are split in 2 parts, so to speak. So from the classification point of view, we have something which is called major conversion, and that means that the vessel is changing the ship type. So it's either changing from an oil tanker to an FPSO, or from a similar type of vessel. And then, of course, you have a multidisciplinary conversion, which can be up to thousands of man-hours of work. And then there's a lot of implication. You need to have a proper quality management system. You need to have a proper planning. You need to keep close to the suppliers. You need to keep close with the shipyard, which is doing the installation or the conversion. So there's many aspects to take into consideration. What I would say is that it's important to have a dedicated team, which is doing knowledgeable team, which is able to undertake the conversion scope, and of course a very good project management and planning ahead of the project start. With respect to the new building market, I I don't want to sound a little bit too cocky, but I don't really believe in too many challenges with respect to detailed design for new building market. As long as the classification drawings in the main class has been established, all the challenges that may appear, there might be some small ups and downs, I don't know, trying to fix some errors in the production or trying to fix some error from the design stage. But I don't foresee any really big issue in the detailed design. I think that most of the challenges lie ahead of the detailed design phase.
Thank you, Livio. So you have to be brave when you decide to involve yourself in a conversion or something like that, because it's something also, I would say, probably a little bit more challenging for, despite the fact that you are a group of, I would say, as you said, the skilled engineer, you are many people, but in any case, probably it's something very challenging in any case.
I think it depends very much on the project, of course. The project I have presented, it was one of the projects that was involving many disciplines. So we had one project scope after the other. It was never just one scope of work. So we started with one project with the client, and then they added on top of it the following scopes. But we can also encounter situations when the client wants, for example, we had projects where we had this self-elevating barges and the client wanted to extend the legs. So we did extensive calculation to increase the legs. At the beginning, it was 30%. When we finalized the calculation, because we did an overstretch, we managed to increase the legs by 50%. So it's a lot of, it's engineering and it's a lot of knowledge behind. And lucky for us, we have a very strong team behind us, which is helping us with such scope of work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just ask all people if there are, again, questions. I see a question right now for Tomislav. If you plan to extend the solar propulsion to sailing boats for nautical activities, but well,
yeah,
I don't know if Tomislav wants to start also. Okay, also this business.
Yeah, I don't know what is deep port.
It's nautical activities, so leisure boating.
But the focus for us is commercial vessels. That means not the leisure boat industry. And we found it as a niche where we would like to be. I would say all this leisure boat industry, they are already fully booked with regards to the design and applications and the producers, and they are very good designers, and then detail is very heading up front the others. So we would like to bring the passenger transportation and commercial vessels to the other level from our point. That means not just the technology, but also design at that side, not to have these old-fashioned boats in transportation. We are much more looking to do something a bit more modern and functional, and focuses also on some details on the boat which take us some time to deliver it, to build it, and to finish it. But this is the direction where we are going to. But sailing boat, no, not for now.
Thank you, Tomislav. And well, I would say my last call, as usually say, for our audience, if they want to also to make some direct questions to our speakers. Otherwise, I remember we can put you in contact with them in any moment. You saw the contacts in the presentations, but in any case, just do not hesitate to have their contacts and to be put in contact with them. And Tomislav, there is again a question for you. Which is, how much is the endurance battery in case of no sun?
Yeah, if you give me 1 second.
Yes.
I can make some, I have it on one slide. It's presentation, but I'm going to take only one slide. And that one I can take for the one of the lakes in Italy, because we done it that way. Share screen. Okay, I don't know if you can see that one.
Yes.
Okay. On the slide, you can see autonomy. We made it for the Lago Maggiore. Autonomy of the vessel with solars, only with the batteries, or combining both the batteries and the solar panels, because the solar energy is not stable over the year. In the winter time, you have much less solar energy. I'm sorry. And then it depends on the speed. So the batteries on the present vessel, you on the speed of 10 km/h, that is in the navigation measures, that will be 5.5 knots. It's 135 kilometers, 14 hours of sailing. Then you have on the speed of 13 km/h, that will be 7 nautical miles, 64 kilometers, and that means 5 hours, or 9.5 knots, or 17 km/h, only 46 kilometers and 3 hours of sailing. What I want to say, the capacity of the vessel is such that we can replicate the battery banking. 4 times more of batteries we can put inside. Of course, that will reflect on the price, but you will get much more autonomy, or you can get the autonomy with higher speed. If you take a look at autonomy with the solar panels and the combined solars and the batteries, that means recharge overnight, then you have up to 23 hours of sailing with 10 km/h, or 5.5 knots. Of course, over the in the summer, but 23 hours, there's nobody who's going to sail that much with a boat, because you have to stop somewhere, especially if you are sailing on the lake. Half of the time over the day, if you would sail 24 hours, you will not sail, because you are going to take new passengers and boarding, unboarding over the time. So, but the speeds up to 17 km/h, or 10 knots, that will be something optimal for such a vessel, to use the solar energy and combine with the batteries. If you raise the speed, then the solar energy is not that much important, then you have to recharge. And on the boat, we have 2 solar chargers and 2 shore chargers, and those shore chargers from the power network on shore, they are not the high power chargers. That means it's 32 amps, like you have in marinas, standard plug-in, like in marina. So wherever you come, you can recharge it very easily. And we have 1 boat in production, already ready for delivery. If you would like to have it, just give us a call.
Thank you, Tomislav. Okay, maybe someone will prepare themselves for the summer, so you will receive some calls in the next hours. Okay, thank you very much for all the details, and I hope to have you again in the future in I would say next activities or next initiatives with some partners of our region, or in general our some partners from Italy. So since you are foreign guests for the presentation of this afternoon. I see there are no other questions. I don't know if anybody wants to intervene just to say, I would say to make a question directly. Otherwise, again, I would like to thank our two speakers of this afternoon, and we'll be back with the next event, next tip presentation event in next month, so in April. And thank you all. Thank to all our public and audience, and we'll be in touch in the next days and weeks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.